Have you ever felt like you were in the middle of a fire? A season of life so intense, so heavy, that you weren't sure what would be left of you when it was over? We've all been there. But what if that fire isn't there to consume you? What if it is there to refine you? Welcome back, beautiful ladies, to Mensimah's Roundtable. Happy Friday. Today, we're starting a new 3-part journey called the Alchemy of Grace. Over the next 3 episodes, we're going to walk through the entire arc. From the moment everything falls apart, through the inner work of the fire itself, to what it looks like to actually live from the other side of it, gold instead of lead. By the end of the episode, you walk away with 3 things. First, I want to give you a new lens for pain, because that falling apart season isn't proof that something is wrong with you. More often than not, it is actually the beginning of something being made right. I'm also going to tell you a real story, not just a concept. I'll tell you about one of the hardest seasons of my professional life and how I got through it without losing myself. Because this isn't just a concept to me, it is something I have lived. And then I'll hand you 4 practical tools, small, doable practices you can start using today to shift from feeling like a victim of your circumstances to becoming an active participant in your own transformation. In the ancient world, alchemy was the quest to turn lead into gold. In our lives, spiritual alchemy is the process of taking the lead, the heavy grief, the unexpected setbacks, the moments of deep doubt, and transmuting it into something precious. Here's the belief this whole series rests on. Nothing in your life is wasted. Not the loss, not the delay, not the version of you that had to fall apart for a truer one to emerge. An alchemist doesn't throw away the base metal. They work with it. And so do we. Every transformation needs heat. That is not a punishment. It is chemistry. Think about what fire actually does. It doesn't create something from nothing. It burns away the impurities, the excess, the things that were never really you to begin with. The fear you wore as armor, the relationship that asked you to shrink, the beliefs about yourself you inherited but never chose. I want to tell you about a season this actually happened to me. A few years ago, I had a supervisor who, for reasons I still don't fully understand, was determined to make my work life difficult. It got to the point where she was writing me up for the smallest, most trivial things that weren't really about performance at all. It got so absurd that one of my colleagues watching it happen was moved to tears on my behalf. That was how outrageous it had become. I could have let that season define me. I could have let her decide who I was, what I was capable of, what I deserved. But instead, I prayed hard. And in that praying, something shifted. not in her, but in me. I made a decision that nothing she did would be allowed to touch my reputation, my integrity, or my sense of who I was. She could write the reports. She couldn't write my worth. I didn't know it at the time, but that fire was clearing a path. The season that felt like it was trying to break me ended up leading me directly to the work I do now. The work I love. The work that actually fits who I am. The lead was being turned into gold, and I couldn't even see it happening in real time. That is the thing about your descent. You rarely recognize it as refinement while you are in it. You only see it looking back. So what does this actually look like? I'll break it down in 3 stages. First, there's the dissolving. This is the part where life as you knew it just falls apart. It is uncomfortable. Nobody's asking you to enjoy this part, but it is necessary. It is clearing the path for what's next, even if you can't see it yet. The next thing that comes is the heating. This is the stretch where you actually sit in the pain instead of running from it. And I know that sounds like the hardest part, because it is. But it is also where your inner wisdom starts to whisper. You won't hear it if you are busy numbing or distracting your way through it. And then eventually there is the emergence. This is the moment you look up and realize you're not the same person who walked into the fire. You are stronger, clearer, more grounded in your power than you were before. It doesn't happen all at once, but one day you will notice it's already happened. Understanding the process is one thing. Moving through it is another. So let me give you 4 practices that will help you shift from victim of the fire to alchemist of it. The first one is what I call the reframe question. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? Which, let's be honest, is a question with no real answer. Try asking, what is being refined in me right now? That one shift alone moves you from powerless to participant. Write the question down, sit with it, and let the answer come slowly. It doesn't have to arrive today. The second is radical acceptance. And I want to be clear, that is not the same as resignation. Resignation says, this will never change. Radical acceptance says, this is what is true right now. And fighting the truth is its own kind of suffering. You can accept where you are without agreeing to stay there. It is what stops you from burning twice. One from the fire, and once from resisting it. Third is what I call the witness practice. And I actually want to walk you through a short meditation for this one right now, together. It only takes about 60 seconds. Close your eyes, if it's safe to do so, or soften your gaze. Take a slow breath in for 4 counts and release it for 6. Bring to mind the thing that has been weighing on you. Don't push it away. Just let it be present. Silently say to yourself, I am being refined by this fire, and I'm becoming gold. Take one more slow breath in and release. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. That's it. That small pause is enough to start loosening the fire's grip on you. And the 4th practice is the gold journal. At the end of each day, write down one thing the fire revealed to you. A strength you didn't know you had. A boundary you finally set. A truth you stopped avoiding. Over weeks, this becomes evidence. Proof that something is being extracted from the heat, even on the days it didn't feel like it. Now here's what makes this alchemy different from sheer willpower or positive thinking. Grace is the catalyst. An alchemist can have the right elements, the right heat, the right process, and still nothing happens without the catalyst. Grace is that unearned strength that shows up right when you think you've reached your limit. It is the reason you're still standing when, by every logical measure, you shouldn't be. Grace doesn't always take the fire away. Most of the time, it doesn't. What it does is change what the fire does to you. It is the difference between being consumed and being refined. And you don't have to manufacture it, earn it, or prove you deserve it. You just have to stay open enough to receive it. In the stillness, in the journal page, in the breath you take before you react. That is the whole secret of this series. You're not doing the alchemy alone. Grace is doing it with you. Remember, you're not being punished by your challenges. You're being prepared by them. This is only part 1 of our journey. In part 2, the transformation, we're going deep into the inner work itself. What actually happens in the heat, and how to do that work without losing yourself. And in part 3, the golden self, we will talk about what it looks like to actually live from the other side, carrying your power forward instead of letting it fade. Until then, stay in your power and stay in grace. If this met you somewhere real, do me a favor. Drop a comment and tell me what fire you're standing in right now. Share this with someone who needs it, who needs to hear it, and subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. And before you go, say this with me. I am a woman of power and grace, and so are you. I'll see you in the next episode. Dr. Mensimah Shabazz signing off with love and gratitude.